Hello everyone, my name is Rogelio Laguna Jr. This is my Native SOAR digital showcase. I have faced many challenges while being a mentor in Native SOAR. I am not Native American, and no one in my family is. I always consider myself as a guest in the space, and remember to be courteous and respectful. I am considerate of the fact that I am not aware of the true experience of what it is to be Native American. I only know the history of my people post-colonization. Speak two European languages, I believe in the beauty of the Native American culture, I see it, and I appreciate it. The stories behind the art and the objects are always from a nice space. I believe in the Native American community not just here at UA but everywhere. I want to see them as doctors, nurses, psychologists, lawyers, and teachers. I personally would like to be a teacher, and I am studying for two majors. I am a history major and a Latin American studies major. What I do here in Native SOAR is what I want to continue to do for Latina people in the future. Both the article Factors Related to Native American Students' Perceptions of Campus Culture and It's About Family, Native American Student Persistence in Higher Education left me thinking after I read them. Whenever I hear about people from within the Native American community becoming upset or even shaming people for pursuing their education, it sparks some emotion within me. I grew up hearing from my tios, college is the way. If we worked with our hands our whole lives, it would be something we would live to regret. They wanted better for us. They wanted us to become independent and successful in our own way. I cannot relate to being in the least represented person on campus, but I can't imagine how isolating that feels. Being the 1%, the majority of this percentage go to two-year institutions that are within the tribal college education system. Not to mention persistence rates drop increasingly whenever the next college year comes around. It is very difficult to afford, attend, and stay motivated throughout college. Most of us have experienced it. I cannot fathom being in such a marginalized category and having all the doors closed for you. One of the readings that stood out to me the most was Financial Hardship Monster, because of the really serious effects not being able to afford college had on Native American youth. It not only put them in crippling debt, but piling that on top of the historical trauma they faced created a series of barriers that became increasingly difficult to overcome. I personally have dealt with suicidal thoughts and attempts in my life that I've worked very hard and appreciate the value of my life to others and to myself. It was not until I had become a student again, acquired a scholarship and loving support system, and the responsibility that I feel like I had some value to the world. I went to college 3 years ago and tried to pay for it on my own. It was not easy. It caused a lot of stress and anxiety to be in a small amount of debt from a community college. I can only begin to comprehend the stress others feel with their possibly higher debts coming from a four-year major institution. I can relate to the youth from this study. I can feel their pain. With worries, their stresses, I can feel it all. With a 40% rate of considering or acting on suicidal thoughts being the average for youth in general, but it increasing all the way to 139% and 79% for a Native American youth specifically. It became the leading cause of death for Native American youth in 2014 to age range 15 to 24. I wish these young people had more opportunities. I see them want more for themselves in my mentoring sessions. I see it in the freshmen, all the way to the seniors. They're so ambitious and so talented. They're shy because they're afraid of what the world thinks of them. I know what that feels like. I want them to be able to achieve these dreams because they should set the example for the next generation. It's on them to prevent tragedy and despair by becoming the examples they never had growing up. I want to do that for people who look like me. I never had a male Mexican teacher growing up. They were always the custodians or the security guards, sometimes administrators, but never teachers. The guest speakers that stood out to me the most during my time at Native SOAR were the panel of Native American graduate students. Their group was so diverse when it came to their backgrounds and their stories, their personalities, who they were, and what made them that way. I love seeing the group dynamic where the younger generations were so inspiring because they were young, energetic, they wanted to know better for now, for those coming ahead of them, and they want to grow as much as possibly as they can personally to help out. The older generations were inspiring because they had experience. They had individually already placed their paths ahead of them and they knew their values. They wanted to make a difference now because they had seen what came before them and are afraid of what can possibly happen after them. I like seeing the change in perspective amongst them whenever they answered questions and they each had a share in the conversation. They gave each other equal respect and knew the struggles they faced to get there because they have all experienced it. A lesson I learned while mentoring is to treat the young students with respect and to give them a real opportunity to present themselves in the way they want to be presented. A lot of these high school students are reserved, nervous, and adapting to the circumstances they have been born into. I can see how college can be intimidating to them, so showing them it is possible not only to attend and succeed at college, but also to be yourself. I learned that the Native American people are one of the most marginalized groups in society, and I just got to see how bad it was for them in the readings. I saw something different in the groups in front of me. I saw people who liked sports, nursing, business, engineering, and even political aspirations. I saw a generation that wants change, and I saw them want to implement it themselves. I saw a generation that can go a really long way with the right leadership to show them how to become their own leaders. I learned that change is only possible when those who want it work for it. I see the youth from the schools and I visited, and the other high school and the other school district myself am a product of. They want change. They're hungry for it. They're tired of their underfunded schools with their old conservative school boards. These young people want to be heard, respected, represented, and most of all, valued in society. I believe that it is up to us to give them the tools that they need to be able to do that.